Welcome to the Social Media and Marketing Summit 2024. My name is Marnie Swedberg. I'm your host, and I'm so excited to have you here. We have been preparing for and looking forward to this day for such a long time. Welcome, welcome. You are in for an afternoon of incredible strategies. I have listened to all of these programs, and you are going to walk away so full of new, fresh ideas that are going to work to help you grow your social reach and to reach more women with what you have to share from Jesus. Okay, as I just said, these are pre-recorded. We used to do these live. The live part now is that because we have pre-recorded, A, no tech issues, yeah, and B, we get to be in the chat with you. And instead of just sitting here presenting while you're all talking to each other, we as the trainers also get to be in the chat sessions with you. So text away, tell us right now who you are, where you're from, why you're here. And so welcome, welcome, welcome to you. You can also come to the sessions with some questions. And because the trainers are going to be in the text chat with you, if you're not hearing the answer to your questions during the program, ask them. Between each program, there's just a little break and then you go to the next one. And to find the freebies and the speaker connections, like their website, their social links like that, you can go to the speaker pages. Their session pages are where we will be live together. Welcome to you. I'm so excited to share this day with you. If you do have to step away for any reason, grab the full access pass, which gives you all of today's recordings at just at low cost. And if you want to get into the whole year of all of the 9 summits, everything that we've already done and everything that we're going to do, and just cherry pick whichever ones you want to listen to that day, it's all so good. We have Fall Faith Day coming up October 15th. That is going to be 10 hours of back-to-back testimonies and miracle stories. You are not going to want to miss that. So welcome to you. Let's go ahead and get going. This session is called Joyous Marketing. And for those of you who don't know, my parents by accident, not really, by the hand of God, named me Joyful Joy. My first name is Marnie and my middle name is Joy. So Marnie means joyful in Hebrew. So they named me Joyful Joy. So I love talking about joy, about everything, joyous marketing, joyous connections, joyous life, whatever. And I want to just start with defining marketing. Webster says marketing is the activity or business of promoting and selling products or services, including market research and advertising. But I want to take it another step forward and say that in God's economy, marketing is sunrises and sunsets, rainbows and rivers, birds, flowers, and basically it's God's extravagance inviting us to experience the rest of what he has to offer. So when I think about joyous connections, I think about 2 little girls hanging out and sharing dolls and dresses and toys and fun and sharing lunch and sharing, I've got, this kind of potato chip and you have that kind of, can I have some of yours? And you have joyous connections is where we play. We actually let down all of this heaviness that surrounds marketing and social media planning, and we have joyous connections with people because that's actually what it's all about in the end. So one of the freebies here is that we get to say yes to God every single time, and I started by saying yes to God every time. I get to say yes to God every time. Then I added, I get to say an instant yes to God every time. Then the next year it was, I get to say an instant joyous yes to God every single time. And now it has landed at, I get to say an instant joyous in advance yes to God every single time. If that's where you want to live, grab the freebie below and you'll be able to check that out in that workbook. All right. So how this joyous marketing thing works is that we see that little funnel at the top. We receive from God. He gives us whatever it is he wants us to share out. We enjoy that with God, and then we share that out to others. And that's how it's supposed to work. I can't give what I don't have, and I'm not supposed to. I'm not supposed to worry about what I don't have to give. I'm supposed to give what I do have, share what I do have. And so marketing then is the combining of who I am in Christ with what he's provided me to extend extravagantly to others for his glory and our delight. And I mean, how much fun is that, you guys? This is where the joy is. It's so fun to do marketing God's way. So I want to spend a moment here talking about free versus paid because this can really trip us up. Where's the money? Where's the free? When do I charge? When do I not charge? How do I talk about money? All that. So let's just go through this list together. First of all, let's consider that salvation is free because Jesus paid it all. So salvation isn't free. It's free for you. It's free for me, but not because it's free. It was exceedingly costly for Jesus to pay it all. So salvation could be free to us. The next one is people attend church for free. We don't have admissions at the door. That's because some attendees give offerings. Pastors get paid from offerings. So if you have this in your head that there's something like really holy, especially holy about not charging, you have to remember the money is coming from somewhere at all times. There are different strategies. So when I work with missions, there's a different strategy than I work with businesses. We want to get this clear in our head. Is this a business or a ministry? If it's a ministry, how's the money going to come in? What are we going to be able to trust God for? What's he calling us to do? If it's a business, how's the money going to come in? What are we trusting God to do? So we have to just get this clear in our head. Money's always coming. Somebody is always paying for it. Someone is paying for it. And it's not holier to be a missionary than it is to be a Christian in the marketplace testifying about Jesus. There's no difference in holiness from God's perspective. The holiness difference comes in what did God call you to do? That's where the difference is. If you are walking with Jesus, do what he calls you to do, whether you charge or whether you do it for free and other people pay for you to be able to do it for free. All right, the next one is speakers get paid from ticket sales, book sales, church funds. They can even sell follow-up, coaching, follow-up memberships, whatever. I mean, speakers get paid in all kinds of ways. Usually the person hiring them pays them, but sometimes that number, because of the budgets or whatever, isn't enough. So then there's, auxiliary stuff there. Also, businesses stay afloat by selling goods or services. So as you are thinking about money, just remember that this shouldn't trip you up. The freebie that I'm offering right now today is Jesus Ministry, Money and Me. And I'm offering this because you need to get this settled in your mind. If you're going to have fun doing joyous marketing, this has to be settled. As you go forward, it should be the money piece of things should be so resolved in your heart that it's as easy for you to go out and get in your vehicle to drive away as it is for you to think about money. The money is just what it is. When you need to get from A to B in your car, you just get in, you drive, and you don't really think about it unless there's a red light or a flat tire or something. That's the only time you think about it. And it should be as natural as breathing. Like, how often do you sit and think, oh, well, am I going to have enough to breathe? Am I going to have enough to breathe? What about tomorrow? What about next month? I don't have enough air stocked up. When do we ever think like that? But somehow with money, we've been convinced that this is how we're supposed to think. It's not. God is our provider, whether it's air or food or water or money or friendships or whatever. God is our provider. So sometimes there's going to be a lot. Other times there's going to be like, how's this going to work? But unless the red light is flashing on your dash, your money dash, don't worry about it. Just go forward. Prosperity from God's perspective is receiving from God everything good that he wants to give me. That's how he defines prosperity. My prosperity will look completely different from your prosperity. Job's looked different from Solomon's, and Solomon's looked different than John the Baptist. But they were all highly favored and blessed by God. So don't make rules about what it's supposed to look like. And I really love Psalm 118:25, which says, oh Lord, do save, and Lord, send prosperity. This is just, we can ask for this. We can ask God to prosper us in exactly the way we need to be prospered in order to accomplish what he created us to do for him, for his glory. So the imbalance comes then when we're requiring God to do it my way, when I get greedy, never being satisfied, demanding more or different than what God's agreed to. This is where it's an imbalance. We don't want to be there. That's the flat tire. That's the red light. That's the point where you have to get an oxygen mask. We don't want the imbalance. And whenever you feel that, just remember to go up for air through prayer and ask God, what am I doing wrong? What's going on? Why do I feel this anxiety? Why do I feel this stress, right? So grab the money training below and be sure to take that at a later time. Just remember, Matthew 6:33, seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all the things you need will be added to you as well. There's nothing to worry about with money, and it should never be the motivating factor in marketing and social media. Okay, so we're going to move on here to the joyous marketing aspect of invitation versus manipulate or sell. And this is super important. So I want you to think about breathing. When you breathe in oxygen, breathe out carbon dioxide, right? So breathe in, breathe out. God's name Yahweh, which is spelled YHWH, is in. From our first breath, God said that he would take care of us, and he will, and he does. Breathe him in, breathe him out. That's our role. Whatever we breathe in is what we're going to breathe out. And as I breathe God in and out, I do it differently than anybody else. Same God, whole different personality, character qualities, gifts, approaches. As you breathe in and out, it's going to be different. Just remember, what you breathe in is what you're going to breathe out. So be careful, little mind, what you're breathing, what you're taking in. Careful, little eyes, what you see. Be careful, little ears, what you hear. Be careful what you're taking in, because that's what you're going to let out. Take in the Holy Spirit of God, take in truth, take in his word, take in his love and his light. Okay, then breathe out your way. This is the fun part for me, is that, maybe you're the splashy girl on the left or the tough girl on the right, or maybe you're the artistic girl in the middle, but however it is that God has created you, that's what your social media and marketing needs to look like. That's what he wants to flow through you, not somebody else's something, what he's created you to be. So get busy doing the flow through vessel thing with God, receiving from God, enjoying it with God, releasing it into the world with God, receive, enjoy, share. And busy, there's a new acronym that I don't like at all: bound under Satan's yoke. Okay, the reason I don't like it, right, is because we don't want it. Who wants to be bound under Satan's yoke? Busy, 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 busy. Accomplishing what? Accomplishing what? Read 1 Corinthians 13. You can do all kinds of good things and have it account for nothing eternally. So what we want to be busy doing is best unique strategies for you. How did God create you? What does he want you to do with social media? How does he want you to market what he's gifted you to share with the world? People need to know about it. Don't be shy. Go out there and share it with everybody, but do it your way. When God strung together your 3 billion base pairs of DNA, he did it in a particular way. He does not want you to hide your light under a bushel. He does not want you to hold back because you don't have money. He does not want you to overspend because you do have money. He wants to have a relationship with you where every morning you get out of bed going, yeah, I can't wait to go do the day. As you are going through this social media and marketing summit, you are going to hear so many amazing ideas for growing your social channels and for marketing to your target audience. You're going to be kind of overwhelmed by how many you're going to hear. But here's the deal. While they all work for somebody, they won't all work for you. And more importantly, while someone gets a well done from God for doing it a particular way, that doesn't mean you'll get a well done from God for doing it their way. Where's your well done? Your well done is living for an audience of one. It's doing it for Jesus, because that's what he's called you to do. So as you're going through, take notes, listen carefully, and keep saying, God, is this for me? God, is this one for me? God, is this one for me? God, is this one for me? I have this picture of a table full of gifts. And every morning I get up and I'm so excited to run and to see what I get to open today. And that might sound selfish, but the thing is that the gifts are all the gifts that Jesus has paid in advance for me to have. It is not pride and greed to go running to the table of God's gifts and to take them all up so that I can enjoy them with God and share them out freely. What I mean by freely is without any kind of stress or pressure. Freely I've received, freely I get to give. Was it free for me to receive? Jesus paid it all. It was extremely expensive. Do I have to always share everything out for free without any kind of remuneration? Absolutely not. I just follow what Jesus tells me to do. I give a bunch away for free, tons of free stuff. Love that, love that, love that. Some stuff I charge a really lot of money for, and it's so worth it. But I'm just comfortable asking Jesus, what do you want me to do? What do you want me to charge? I love this picture of this gal getting out of bed because there's a couple things in here. First of all, you can see there's an hourglass in the middle, and there's only so much time. You don't have time to do everything. You don't have time to do everything. You don't have time to do everything good. You don't have time to do everything everybody else wants you to do. You don't even have enough time to do everything you want to do. But because God is God, you absolutely have time to do everything He wants you to do. And that's where we say yes every single time and we trust Him for the time. I have to do this a lot. Okay, God, there's not enough hours in this day to do this. So make it happen. And I have stories that I'm going to tell in the fall faith day coming up about how God has stopped the clock for me. It's going to be October 15th. Don't miss that day. It's going to be a 10-hour day of miracle stories and testimonies, including a whole bunch from my life. So there's 2 times God stopped the clock for me, literally stopped the clock. And I'll be sharing those 2 stories on Faith Day in October. All right. The next one is money. Do not let money stop you from doing what God calls you to do. I I can't even tell you. It happened just 2 days ago. I can't even tell you how often I think about money and think it can't work. It just it can't work. And sometimes when it does work, I can't figure out how it worked. All I know is this: when I am doing what God calls me to do, Marnie, not what God calls somebody else to do, not what worked for somebody else, but when I'm doing what God calls me to do, God provides the resources. And I would never want to anyway. But on a more practical level, I would not dare to do what God did not call me to do because I wouldn't be confident that He was going to provide. He does provide a safety net for us. So if I muck up, if I heard Him wrong, if I, just, didn't understand, if I messed up and it wasn't intentional, there's a safety net there for sure. So much grace, so much grace. But consistently on an everyday basis, boy, I don't want to make any financial decisions that are outside of what God's calling and inviting me to do. And we do this as a partnership. We talk about it. He's God, of course, but I am always asking Him, could I do this? Is this something I could do? And I ask Him. And sometimes it's yes, and sometimes not now, or sometimes no. So just work it out with God. Ask Him, where does He want your money to go? And then there's a calendar on the far left side. When we get to heaven, it's eternal, but here we are time bound. And so making plans, setting things up in advance, knowing how much time you have to do a project, knowing how often you're going to post where, what, and all of that. Those are things that you want to, like the girl here, you want to be able to wake up every morning excited to get out of bed and do the day. You don't want to have social media and marketing being the thing that just causes you so much pain and it's such a drag. Turn it into joyous marketing and watch what God will do. Well, I'm excited to conclude this session right now here with you and to invite you to the rest of the afternoon. If you have to step away for any reason, grab the upgrade set and listen to it. And even if you're here all day, if you want to grab that set, I encourage you to do so because there's so much good content. Take notes, star the time. Sometimes I do the timestamp, like when I'm listening to somebody and like at 3 minutes, 32 seconds, they say something really awesome. I just go 3 and circle it, for their thing. So I can go back right directly to the part that really interested me, or I want to hear a quote again, something like that. So it's just a great way to do that. If you want to get all of it, the whole faith day, everything, then you can grab the $99 package. All right. Thanks so much for joining me. I will see you at the next session.